Morning everybody, welcome to this week's Turf Talk. Hope you're all keeping really well. Well, the end of last week I stood in this very position here and we were faced with another challenge that we have here at Tillers, usually most winters, and that is the possibility of frost delay. So if you remember, the field was white over. I'm pleased to report that today we are in fact green again. But unfortunately the frost delayed harvest for several days, and today is Tuesday and I'm out in the field. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn the camera around and we'll have a look and just see if this beautiful sunshine's doing its thing, see if things are thawing, and see if we're going to crack on with the frost today. So we'll have a look round. Simple old method, that's the key method. So I'm going to stick the key in the ground and thankfully that is penetrating nicely. So it's time to round the harvest team up, get things going, and we've got a huge harvest on today. We've got pretty much everything going out. We've got heather, we've got revetting, we've got fescue, we've got greens, we've got wildflower. Really busy day. So obviously we're playing a little bit of catch up with a few days delay, but thankfully that frost is coming out of the ground now. And what I'm going to do a little bit later in the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we can't harvest in the frost and talk about 3 different types of frost and the effects they can have on our harvest operation. In the meantime, let's go find some harvesters, see how it's going, and we'll catch you in a bit. Now the field we're in for harvest is one of our fabulous fescue fields, and we've got it going out in 2 formats today. We've got it in small roll here, and then we've got big roll over there. And the guys are busy now. I don't know how many thousands of metres we've taken out today, but like I say, really big harvest. And yeah, we're playing catch up now on the couple of days we've lost. So yeah, it all stacks up. We're always busy, but today we're busier than ever. Beautiful. These super frosty days can be really frustrating when it comes to harvest, and it's not just the harvest itself. It can stop and it can go tomorrow, but then we have to consider things like logistics. So there's lorries to reorganise, schedules to change, and it really is an absolute pain, but there we go, it is what it is. And we work with our customers to do the best we can and get out of there as soon as we can. So I do get asked the question, why can't we harvest in the frost? Well, I've got a harvester parked up here, and I'm just going to talk about 2 or 3 different types of frost that we can encounter here and their effects on the machine itself and what can happen to significantly make things not right. So I'm just going to flip the camera around. So if we have a normal white frost, so we come in, it's just a soft frost on the leaf, then yes, more often than not we can crack on with harvest, and we don't seem to suffer with any kind of superficial scorch at all, and it goes really well. Now the issue is we have the roller on the harvester here, and just like if you were mowing a muddy lawn, it's going to get clogged up with worm casts. This is eventually going to build up with frost, and it's going to completely and utterly affect the depth that we're cutting, and the whole depth is regulated by this roller itself, so the depth of the blade and how far it goes in. So once the ice starts to accumulate, it knocks all the levels out completely. Now if we get an intermediate frost, then sometimes we can go in and with no white leaf we can harvest, and it comes up the conveyor here and then hits the accumulator. But rather than this catching it and rolling it up, because it's frozen and rigid, it literally goes straight underneath, out the top, and doesn't make a roll at all. Now the third frost we can find, and the one we've encountered the last few days that's really held up the harvest, has been a deep frost. And if this happens and we try to harvest, then we're quite simply going to shake the harvester to pieces. We've got the blade here, all the shear bolts are just going to break off, and it's going to be a complete disaster. So all we can do is thank everybody for their patience this week, and we're doing all the best we can now. Like I say, we've got the big golden globe in the sky, doing us a massive favour today, really thawing things out nicely, down to a good depth now. Harvest is up and away, brilliant stuff. Before we close this week's video, just want to give you a quick update on the progress of the yard. The last week's video we saw we just started digging out the foundations, ready for the stone, and finally the concrete final fix. Maybe someday later this week or beginning of next week. So at the moment, Wayne's busy with the hardcore, actually spreading the hardcore foundation now before the concrete goes in. So another load just been tipped behind me, and yeah, it's all very busy out in the harvest and in the yard today. So it's fantastic, making the best of this sunshine and beautiful day that it is today. So I want to thank you all as always for watching. Please continue to like, to subscribe if you wish to, and help us grow the channel by sharing on your social media streams. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you're up at BTME next week, come and visit us on stand 176 Hall 8. We're very pleased to see you. But in the meantime, have a fab weekend. Take care everybody. We'll see you next week. Cheers for now.